I had to quit swimming professionally. 1 week after the operation, they had to operate the shoulder to get it better. So a few weeks when all the drugs were not affecting anymore, I started my first company called Vivo Visions. I did coaching, mentoring about health issues and how business professionals could be more fit and more profitable at the work. Then I have background also in startups for about 4 or 5 years. I've been a co-founder in a few startups. Both somehow had to do something with sports. I have done like exits on those, but they were not very successful. So that's why I work in Nordea nowadays. I've been here September 2 years, and I'm still learning all the bureaucracy and how the big corporation works, but I have my freedom as well.
As I can see and our listeners cannot see, on your t-shirts it's Nordea Startup and Growth. So could you please tell a few things about your department?
Yeah, so the Startup and Growth unit is located in Helsinki. There are currently, I think, 13 professionals working there. Me and my colleague Kim are here in Turku, and we have also colleagues in Tampere. I don't know what they are doing at the moment, so I have to take over on their places a little bit. Also Jyväskylä and Oulu. And then, of course, because Nordea is a Nordic bank, so we have colleagues in Stockholm, Oslo, and Copenhagen as well. So we work Nordically at the moment. And our unit, the focus is mainly on startup and growth companies. So we are not very clear about the meaning of startup. So it can be different kind of growth companies who are actually willing to grow and mainly international.
Right, but what do you actually do?
I consider myself as a middleman or matchmaking partner. And as a bank, I think Nordea wants to be the key partner for the company. So we want to focus on helping the companies in many ways. And of course, because I have my own background in startups and in company life and also in sports, so I can bring a little bit from there as well. If you look what my normal week looks like, when I started 2 years ago, I made a deal with my boss that if my friends call me a banker, I will quit. And if they lock me to my desk here at the office, I will quit. So that are the two main aspects on my work, that I don't have to stay at the office and I don't want to be considered as an average banker, that I want to use all those advantages that I have gained in my previous life. So I mainly work with the customers and I try to help them how to get financing, how to get investors, how to make the numbers look right, and how to actually help them to get sales and help them to get the right network, to get the more international contacts and so on. So there are many things that I do.
Since we got what, let's get to the why question. Why Nordea considers it's important to cooperate with startups and small companies?
Well, no one knows which one is the next big thing in Finland. And
let's be straight, what's the next Nokia?
Yeah, no one knows that. But we want to help people to grow their businesses and their ideas. And we want people to think Nordea as a business partner for the startups. So that's why we have the whole unit, that we can focus on that, because the business is very different from what the bank is normally dealing with. Like if you have had a company for 20 years and we can go and look back how it's been doing and we can make a forecast. But for startups, you can do zero turnover for 2 first years and then you can go straight away to the millions if you do it properly and if you have the idea that you can just scale up just like that. It's a very different area, and that's why we wanted to get those people to focus only on those things. We don't have any luggage for money that we can just give startups. We have to follow the rules. We have to follow the European rules and the Finnish rules about the banking life and the industry. It sort of makes it a little bit tricky. So there are a few things that when I meet a customer for the first time, I tell them that I want them to be really honest with the bank, because I think before some of them has sort of thought that the bank is against them, but I want to feel them that I'm always on their side. So if it looks like that they are going down and they are going down fast, we have to do something before they are too deep, that the bank cannot help them anymore. If they have lost their own equity, there are rules that we cannot actually help them that much with the loaning, especially with the loans at that point. We can try to help them in some other ways, but we try to sort of prevent those things happening, that when they see that, okay, we didn't get the sales that we expected, or it takes a little bit longer to get the money in, we do something already before it starts to be a problem.
Okay, sounds like a beautiful idea. What's your criteria for eligibility for a startup? Some basics.
No, we don't have that many criteria. We want to work with all those companies and all those co-founders and founders and people who are in the startup life and in the growth companies, who are interested in growing and who are interested to ask help and who are also listening. If we tell them something and they don't listen what we say, it sort of frustrates us because, well, we are just working here, so we don't get the reward as the same way than the owners of the companies get. We want to help those people who are willing to listen and willing to act and change their ways a little bit if there is something that they can do better.
So this is our weekly advice from Nordea. Want to get some money? First learn to listen.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing, but also really know where the customers are, know where the money is coming from. I think my first boss, when I was hired here, he had a very good idea that he told me that even though if the customer comes in with a bag of gold as a guarantee for the loan, we don't want to get the gold. We want to help the company to grow. We have to see how they can pay back the loan. Even if the owner is willing to put his own house or apartment or anything like that on, or backing up the loan with that, we don't want that, because we want the companies to succeed and we want them to be able to pay off the loan eventually. We can modify it on the way. There are many good players like Finnvera and Business Finland who help on the way as well, but we want them to succeed. So we don't want the bag of gold if the company has that. We want them to succeed, and that's why we also have to look through the business plan and where the money is going to come from.
Since you have experience both as a startup entrepreneur and a bank worker who works with startups, how would you define a successful business idea? Like when you look through the plan and when someone tells you the idea, how do you understand, okay, this is a scale up and this should be thought through?
I think I normally start with why they are doing it. Why would a customer pay? Because when we had our own startup, we didn't really think about everything at the beginning too much, and we didn't have the right answers at the beginning. I think too many people, especially in Finland and maybe in Nordics and nowadays, because there's a startup fuss, I think, people are starting a companies. They are building something that is nice to have. I think the key is, why are you doing it, and why would somebody pay for it? And what are they willing to pay for it? So if they should have a proof. Even though if they don't have any sales, they should show me a study that, okay, these people are willing to pay this much if we solve this problem for them, and it's this much value for them. That's only, of course, the first part, because you can always ask me how much are you willing to pay for that, and I can say, yeah, I will pay 100 euros, and then when you come back with me with the same solution that you asked, I might not be willing to pay that much anymore. So the validation is very important. Sometimes we can start with the company, give them a loan even if they don't have any turnover. But normally what we look for is that they have some business, they have proof of concept, and they can show that people are willing to pay for the products.
Right, and since we started on the why topic, why should startup turn to Nordea for help and investments instead of going to any other investment company, place, whatever?
They should also go to other investment companies, because
why are you better than anyone else?
Well,
if you are better,
we are. I think because I come from a startup life and a small company as a small entrepreneur. I think that if I want to work with startups in a bank, Nordea is the only place for me. I don't look for what the competitors are doing, because Nordea is international. We have teams in all the Nordic countries focusing only on startups. So they're sort of they know how it works. And we also have branches in Asia and in London and in the US and everything. So Nordea is truly an international bank that can actually help those startups grow internationally. And I think that's the key aspect here. And we really want to think we really want to know how the startups think. That's why we have the whole unit in Finland and in the Nordics to focus only on those companies. So I think that's the key why they should come here. And of course we have the network. We have over 10 million customers in Nordea, in Nordics. So we also have, we can give them loans, we can give them help with their financing, also personally, but we can also find from our network investors and other partners who they need on the way, because there are so big group of customers in the bank.
So basically Nordea is creating some kind of a network or community for startups as well.
Yeah,
or for businesses in general.
Yes. I think we were a matchmaking partner in one event last year, and I think that's a really good position for Nordea to show around that we are the matchmaking partner in the finance sector. Of course, we can help them to matchmake in also other sectors of business, but especially in the finance, we have the wide network we can help them with.
Also, I know that you support some events and festivals.
Yeah, I think that what we want to do is give our expertise. So if anyone who listens feels like you need help in event, or you want a mentor, or you want advisors or something like that, you are free to contact me and ask me to come to your event. That's quite easily to arrange. Even though I'm located here in Turku, I can operate in almost whole Finland. Don't ask for money at the moment. That's we want to sort of go away from that. It's more tricky way to be like just sending money. I think because we have the expertise in the area, we want to give that, and we feel that sometimes it's more valuable than the money that can be spent in many ways.
Still, if there is an event looking for financial part, can they turn to you and ask for help? In the sense of connecting with
Yes, we also have this form in our website in Nordea.fi, where you can apply for financial support for event or anything that's related to business, or you're looking for sponsors or anything. So we have this platform on our website where it's everything is studied in Helsinki, and they decide where we participate and how we participate. And I would like to say that the key issues at the moment are how the youth in Finland are like learning economics and stuff like that. So that's something we use a lot of time and effort on. So we have this Nuori Yrittäjyys project where we participate. Every employer in Nordea can use 16 hours of their working time to do volunteer work. That would help the youth how they economic skill, financing skills.
16 hours per
year.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Still impressive. And probably I have one last question since we started talking about events. While I was plugging up the set, you told me that you have visited Stream Festival last year. Any feedback from that?
Yeah,
what do you remember?
I like the atmosphere. It was fun. Of course, we didn't have anyone. Oh, we had one other. Our head of startup and growth unit, Vesa from Helsinki, was also there. But we were a little bit making fun because our startup team, or no one from Nordea Tampere, was actually there. So I had to come all the way from Turku to tell to people in Tampere how the things are done. And, you know, there's this rivalry between Turku and Tampere that's been going on for ages. So that was really fun to sort of use that as an opening with few talks that I had with some people in there. And, yeah, it was fun. I think that it's going to be better next time when you do it. And I hope to be able to join again.
So on behalf of the Tribe Tampere community, I can officially invite you this October to Tampere.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's hope that the calendar is still open for that day, but we will see that it will happen. And if you see me somewhere, you can always, come and talk with me. I'm open to all the ideas. I still have my own company. I'm going to launch a new company after the summer holidays, so I'm very interested in the whole startup life outside what we do in Nordea as well, because I think there are many good things happening, and all the big corporation bureaucracy that's happening here, I need some side hustle as well. So I'm into this startup community in many ways, and it's very easy to spot me, especially if I'm working